All right, last one of the day, Cyberpunk 2077. People are playing the game. They're playing the game. In fact, somebody over at IGN got their hands on the first 16 hours of the game. That's a lot of gameplay.
Yeah.
And previously, people have reported on the first 4 hours. This guy played the first 16 hours. Of course, I watched this 8-minute clip to figure out what he had to say. He's also got quite the outfit going with the bow tie and everything else. He looks like he just spent 16 hours playing Cyberpunk 2077 early with the early access.
Yeah,
because I would send him the early access if it was up to me.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Anyway, some of his takeaways here, which might be interesting to you. He said, this is maybe not the action game you anticipated. It's a little bit more, it's a little more slow paced. And for example, the first gunfight doesn't come until about 4 hours of gameplay.
Huh.
And the title screen comes after about 4 hours of gameplay. So it's a lot of build up and building and a tremendous amount of flexibility onto what you're going to do in the world. I mean, he was saying you could go after that initial intro, you could go and start fights with pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
Or you could keep it more low key and be a bit stealth. And if you do go on a mission, you can get through some of this stuff without necessarily killing everybody in the whole place. There's different ways to do it. And so he was saying it's maybe a little bit more GTA than people had expected. And he wasn't, for the record, saying it was slow in such a way that ruined it for him. He's still very excited about it. But he was saying that it just might be slower than what some people expected looking at the promo clips and the way that it was being marketed.
Yeah.
What do you think, Will?
In terms of their world building, it's like really phenomenal. Like everything that we figured like Cyberpunk to be, they seem to make that like reality. So I mean, shout out to them. We'll just see how the gameplay is. It looks really impressive.
Yeah,
and Keanu Reeves is
and then the other part of it is obviously such an ambitious project, a huge project, far-reaching, large world type of project. So the other thing he was saying in his 16 hours, there's a few edges that are a little unpolished, which is to be expected, but he was just trying to curb people's expectations a little bit because, you know, sometimes it gets out of hand. You want the perfection. It's human beings at the end of the day. So you go into it understanding that an ambitious project like this, you give it a little bit of leeway as well, especially when it first launches. That's my recommendation. But I'm excited for it. Nonetheless, I don't know where I'm going to get the hours to put into it. I might have to live vicariously through you.
Yeah, I'll tell you all about it.
But I'm definitely going to take a crack at it regardless. We're getting closer to the eventual release, Cyberpunk 2077.